Coming up on Final Justice, the carnival has come to town.
Can't win if you don't play.
But beneath the lights and laughter, there lurks deadly danger. When a man is murdered because of the color of his skin.
You didn't hear nothing, and you didn't see nothing.
And when these fugitives miss their favorite show.
I watched America's Most Wanted every week, and this was the first show that I missed.
They're off on the scariest ride of their lives.
To my surprise, the guy is working right here at the carnival.
And their victims are left searching for only one thing.
But we just would like to see justice.
Also on this edition, he was a career con man.
For $2,000, that's my fee.
She wanted to be a country and western star. And when they fell in love, he vowed to do anything to stay with her. But first, there was one thing James Ashley had to do.
Dad, where's Mom?
I drove her to the airport last night.
In the place where good and evil meet, the victim of crime is alone. Then, out of the darkness come those who would make a difference. From the files of America's Most Wanted, these are the stories of the fugitives who didn't get away.
They caught Jesse.
And the victims who found final justice. Hello and welcome to Final Justice. I'm John Walsh, here on location at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Every year in cities all across America, the carnival comes to town. The amusement ride, games, clowns, and candy apples are a summer tradition. But when the carnival arrived in '89 in Madison, Nebraska, the bright lights and laughter of the Midway were dimmed by a horrible act of hatred. July 1989. Charlie Tidwell was a carny, working the carnival in Madison, Nebraska.
Can't win if you don't play. Hey, gorgeous. Excuse me. Drop your pocket. Now that I got your attention, come here. Let me show you how to play this game.
His friend Richard Ellen worked the strongman booth.
Hey, you. Farm boy.
You think you're man enough to do it? Sure am. I think you better prove it to me there, buddy, because I don't think you're man enough to win anything for a little lady here. Step right up.
Lonnie Edwards ran the shooting gallery.
You guys look like real sharpshooters.
Beverly Cole and her husband Robert owned the booth Lonnie worked in.
He could keep kids there for hours, just playing and shooting the gun. He'd show them how to shoot. He'd do all kinds of things for them. He got gifts from them. He got notes from the parents. He was really basically just a good guy.
Yeah, we got a bunch of good old boy agents running the joints this season.
Yeah. Except for that black boy we got running the rifle range. Be better off without it.
Richard was a real 100% racist, not prejudiced, pure racist. Liked to keep a macho image. How many people that he'd been in a fight with and beat up and hurt.
After the carnival shut down each night, most employees usually headed into town to one of the local bars. On the evening of July 18th, 1989, Lonnie ended up at a bar where Richard Ellen, Charlie Tidwell, and their friends were drinking heavily.
Must be fun working at the carnival, huh?
Used to be. Anymore. Some of these people give me a hard time.
What do you mean?
My color, the prejudice.
Last call for alcohol.
You want me to top that up?
No, thanks. Couldn't finish it off anyway. Maybe they might want the rest of it.
Red beer all around, 2 more pitchers for sale. Okay?
2?
Thought maybe you all might want the rest of my picture. Everything going okay?
Get off.
That's my wife.
Okay. I get the message. Loud and clear.
I'm gonna whoop that damn nigger.
Hey, Richard. Come on, man. Let's go back. Get a beer. Hey, you'll end in jail if you do that.
Came on to my wife. I'm gonna whoop it for that. There he is.
Somebody help me.
Man, my arm is broke. Don't make too much, Raymond. Sure, buddy. I'll help you. Come on. We'll get you to a hospital. Patch you right up.
Next, a killer and his accomplice go on the lam. But a nation of viewers didn't miss their chance to hand this duo final justice.
July 19th, 1989, just before dawn. Ellen and Tidwell dragged Lonnie into a field outside of town. Although he was badly injured, he was still alive.
Richard. Richard. Now, you didn't hear nothing, and you didn't see nothing. Let's go get us some coffee and clean out this truck.
Lonnie was one heck of a fine fella. I couldn't find a better friend, you know, to be on a show with. But it seemed like he predicted what had happened to him. And I feel pretty bad because there wasn't a thing I can do about it. He was a good man. In my book, he was A1.
The next morning, a farmer found Lonnie's body in the field. He'd been beaten to death with a lead pipe and a wooden mallet from the strongman booth. Ellen and Tidwell became prime suspects. When witnesses told police they saw the men with Lonnie the night he was killed. Richard Allen was nowhere to be found. Police caught Charlie Tidwell and threw him in jail. But 5 weeks later, he escaped by prying open a prison door. Now, both men were on the run.
I'm trying not to hate these people. I don't want to hate anybody. And that's been a struggle for me, but we just would like to see justice. We think that no one should have to die like he died.
Lonnie's mother was right. No one deserves to be tortured the way Lonnie Edwards was. He was a good man, just trying to do his job. Richard Allen and Charlie Tidwell managed to hide from the law for almost 2 years. Then something incredible happened. In June of 1991, just hours after we profiled their case on America's Most Wanted, both men were in custody. Charlie Tidwell was an easy fugitive for viewers to track. As soon as his picture flashed on TV screens across the nation, the hotline lit up. Deputies were sent to this Summerville, South Carolina house. Just 90 minutes after Charlie Tidwell was named one of America's Most Wanted, he was in custody. Tidwell wasn't surprised to hear he'd been on the show. In fact, he'd been ready for it.
I watched America's Most Wanted every week, but as it was, I was getting ready for a fishing trip, and this was the first show that I missed.
After breaking out of prison, Tidwell says he set out on a mission of his own to find the real killer, Richard Allen.
And I went looking for him myself. Had I found him, I would have made a phone call saying where he was and where I was and turned myself in. I got close to him twice, both times on carnivals. Both times I missed him. One time I missed him by about 3 hours. One time I missed him by a day.
Ironically, it was another carny who found Allen. He was working this balloon game at a carnival near Portland, Oregon.
Well, that's oh no, we got a racist killer out here. So far as I know, I'm going to be the next guy out here since I'm coming here to work at a carnival, you know, and they said, no, don't worry about nothing like that. When I got here, to my surprise, the guy is working right here at the carnival.
Richard Ellen knew his time on the run was coming to an end. He called deputies from this Dairy Queen, 3 blocks from the carnival, and told them he wanted to surrender. Charlie Tidwell pleaded guilty to escape and accessory to murder. He got 5 to 10 years, and he was eligible for parole in December of 1994. He's now serving time for a series of robberies in Texas and could be a free man as early as August of 1997. Tidwell fingered Richard Ellen as the killer. Faced with first-degree murder charges, Ellen pleaded down to second-degree murder. He got a life sentence for killing Lonnie Edwards, but he'll be eligible for parole in the year 2024. From his prison cell, Richard Ellen claims that Charlie Tidwell is the real killer. So then why did Ellen plead guilty to murder? He claims he had a bad defense attorney. Well, both men admit some involvement in the killing, but what exactly happened that night, we may never know. But one thing is for certain. An innocent man died because 2 men didn't like the color of his skin.
Coming up next, he was a career con man who made a living walking over little people.
$2,000, that's my fee.
But when his wife tried to walk out on him,
there's no way I'm going to let you take my daughter away from me.
She was stopped dead in her tracks. America's Most Wanted, Final Justice. We'll be right back.
James Ashley was a man who always got what he wanted, no matter what the cost. So when this career con man fell in love with a country western singer, he vowed to do whatever it took to keep her. Except he had one big problem. First, he had to get rid of his wife. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Police say James Dudley Ashley moved here with his family in 1978.
You really think you can get me this loan?
Ashley quickly set up shop, as he had in many other towns. His business, loan scams.
Now fill that out. Now write me out a check, too, for $2,000. That's my fee. I'll push that through, and I'll guarantee a loan in 2 days. I promise you.
Anita Edwards already had 2 sons, Paul and Robert, when she married Ashley. Together, they had a daughter.
You don't have to yell at them.
A difficult childbirth left Anita in very frail health.
Feeling sick again, Anita?
Mm-hmm.
Take this.
Oh, you know I hate taking medicine.
Take it. It's good for you.
Yeah.
All of it.
What is that?
It's your medicine.
I feel so weak.
Oh, but not too weak to file for a divorce, right, Anita?
Please, Jim, don't start.
I tell you, you're not going to get that divorce. There's no way I'm going to let you take my daughter away from me, and that's that.
Well, let me tell you something. When the courts find out about your so-called business, I doubt if you get any of the kids.
Business was brisk, so Ashley hired a temporary secretary. Police say Fran Hickey was unaware of the shady operation she was involved in.
Hey there, Jim. All done.
Thank you, Franny.
I asked him early on, you know, are you married? And he said yes, he had been married. He had 3 children, and that his wife had run off with someone and left he and the children.
Mommy's gone away for a while.
Where did she go?
I drove her to the airport last night. We got a bit of bad news. Seems that Grandpa died yesterday, and your mommy's going to be in Oklahoma for a while.
The case began as a fraud investigation. As that investigation continued, the captain of the detectives at the time, Alfred Lucero, began receiving phone calls that the suspect, James Ashley, his wife, was missing.
With his wife out of the way, an aggressive courtship was launched. Gifts arrived for Fran almost every day.
We began to date, and we'd go to nightclubs, and I got up and sang, and he realized what a love I had for it, and he read right into it, and he began to tell me the things that I wanted to hear.
Mama, I found someone.
Ashley took Fran on the road to promote her singing career, but police were hot on his trail back in Santa Fe.
So unlike.
She disappeared.
See you in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I live over there, but
Mama, he's crazy, crazy over me. And in my life is where he said he always wants to be. I've never been so loved, even all I've ever seen. And Mama, he's crazy over me. And Mama, he's
Nobody could place her anywhere. We decided to dig up the hole to find out whether or not she was in there. We dug by hand, digging through trash, children's toys, and we're almost to the point once of giving up. We decided to go on and dig just farther, and we hit a trunk.
Hey, I got something.
Honey, what's wrong?
I was thinking about my wife.
Anita didn't run off with another man, did she? What happened to her?
It was an accident. I mean, Anita was sick. The doctor gave her this pain medicine. She kept asking for more, and I kept giving it to her. And she died. It was an accident. Fran, it was an accident.
Inside was the body of Anita Ashley. An autopsy later revealed that she died from an overdose of phenobarbital, administered by her husband under the guise of giving her medicine. James Ashley was charged with murder, but he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, and he was accidentally released from prison. Now maybe you can help bring him in, make him face the final justice he's avoided for so long. America's Most Wanted has profiled Ashley 4 times. Viewers have been able to pick up his trail. The FBI learned that Ashley remarried. Here he is with his wife, Donna Marie, but she hasn't been charged with anything. The FBI had tracked down Donna's son, who says the family spent the 80s in Tulsa, Oklahoma, then in Los Angeles, where they worked the swap meets. Next, they headed to Nevada to sell Teflon. And in the early 90s, the couple moved back to California, working as apartment managers in San Diego. If you know anything about this case, please call our hotline at 1-800-CRIME-TV.
When we come back, maybe you know where these missing children are. America's Most Wanted, Final Justice. We'll be right back. This missing child alert is presented by Kellogg's.
Catherine Baskin and her younger brother Robert were abducted from Murfreesboro, Tennessee on March 1st, 1989, when they were 8 and 7 years old. Police say they were kidnapped by 59-year-old Marvin Maple and his wife, 58-year-old Sandra Maple. The Maples may use the aliases Ray and Sandra Farmer or Harvey and Joan Wilson. These are age-enhanced photos of what Catherine might look like at 14 years old and Robert at 12 years old. Catherine has a birthmark on her neck and may be known as Christy or Robin. Robert may go by the nicknames Robbie or Bobby. If you've seen Marvin or Sandra Maple or know the whereabouts of Catherine and Robert Baskin, please call 1-800-CRIME-TV. If you know anything at all about these cases, please make that call. That's it for this edition of Final Justice. I'm John Walsh. Thanks for watching.
Follow the crew of Sightings as they continue to investigate the unknown and mysterious. Sundays at 6 on Fox 4 KTVY.
Talk about working the graveyard shift. Here's a detective that only works after hours. By the way, did I mention he's a vampire? Catch Forever Night, Sunday at 10 on Fox 4 KTVY.